What if I told you that there's a phone that doesn't chase trends, it waits for them to burn out, and then quietly does everything better? That's the Oppo Find X9. It's not trying to be the loudest or the flashiest, it's trying to be the most complete. You'll hear about its insane battery, its balanced design, and a display that'll make you rethink what flat can mean. But here's the kicker. This phone doesn't wow you instantly. It grows on you, and before you realize it, it's setting a new standard for what a flagship should feel like. Let's break it down. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where Oppo is heading and whether the Find X9 is worth the switch. We'll cover the design, display, performance, battery, and cameras, and I'll give you my honest take on whether this is Oppo's breakout flagship or another almost there moment. If you're tired of phones that brag in spec sheets but stumble in real life, this one might surprise you. We'll start with the design, and because this phone has a kind of maturity most brands are still figuring out. Then we'll dive into the display. Easily one of Oppo's best ever. After that, we'll talk about performance, battery life that borders on science fiction, and those surprisingly good cameras. Stick around till the end, because my verdict might not be what you expect. The Find X9 doesn't try to shock you, it invites you in. The first thing you notice when you pick it up is how balanced it feels. There's weight, but not heaviness. There's polish, but not glare. Oppo's been perfecting this for years, and this might be their most mature design yet. The back panel curves just enough to melt into your palm. The frame, made of aerospace-grade aluminum, feels sculpted rather than machined. And then there's that camera island, a square, minimal statement framed perfectly in symmetry. It's the kind of design that doesn't scream for attention but earns it. The Pro model steps it up even more with a ceramic back, smooth as glass but more resistant to scratches. It has this premium matte sheen that catches light softly like liquid metal under sunlight. It's the kind of phone you don't just use, you admire. Even the buttons, crisp, clicky, perfectly positioned. You can tell someone obsessed over this. It's not trying to impress you at first glance, it's designed to impress you on the 100th. Let's talk about that display, because Oppo finally nailed it. A 6.59-inch LTPO OLED with 120Hz refresh rate, HDR10+, and a flat design that feels refreshing. In a world obsessed with curved screens and edge gimmicks, Oppo went the other way, and it's the best decision they could have made. Everything feels intentional, text looks sharper, reflections are gone, and you never get those accidental touches on the sides. The bezels are ultra-thin and uniform, giving it that futuristic edge-to-edge look without the fragility. And the color science here, chef's kiss. It's not oversaturated, not dull, just vivid where it needs to be. Watching HDR content feels like watching a mini OLED TV. The blacks are deep, the whites are clean, and motion feels buttery thanks to that adaptive refresh rate that intelligently shifts between 1 Hz and 120 Hz. Even in harsh sunlight, the screen stays visible. The brightness punches through with clarity that rivals Samsung's top-tier panels. Sometimes innovation isn't about adding more curves, it's about knowing when to flatten them. Under the hood, this thing packs MediaTek's Dimensity 9500 built on a 3nm process. Now, I know what you're thinking, MediaTek in a flagship, but this chip isn't the old MediaTek you remember. It's the cool, quiet performer. It's fast, like genuinely fast. Apps open instantly, animations glide, and gaming is top tier. But what's more impressive is how consistent it feels. Even after an hour of gameplay, there's no throttling, no heat spikes. That's thanks to Oppo's new vapor cooling system that intelligently redistributes heat away from your hands. It's the difference between a phone that flexes hard for benchmarks and one that stays powerful when it actually matters. In daily life, this is smoother than most Snapdragon flagships I've tested recently, and Oppo's optimization deserves credit. ColorOS 16 on Android 16 feels snappy, minimal, and finally mature. No clutter, no lag, no stutter. Micro hook. This isn't a phone that brags about power, it quietly owns it. All right, let's talk about the part that genuinely shocked me, The battery, 7,025 milliamp hours. Yes, 7,025. That's not just big. That's borderline absurd. And Oppo didn't just cram in a huge cell. Gee, they re-engineered how it works. This battery uses silicon carbon technology adapted from electric vehicles. It's denser, cooler, and more efficient than traditional lithium batteries. The result? 2 full days of regular use. And not the I barely touch my phone kind. I mean full brightness, social media, photos, gaming, and calls, and still going. Charging, unreal. You get SuperVuck 100-watt fast charging that takes it from 0 to 100% in under 40 minutes. And even better, it stays cool while charging. No heat spikes, no throttling, no long-term degradation. For context, this outlasts even the Galaxy S25 Ultra in endurance tests. You can literally go camping, film content, or binge YouTube all weekend and not worry about a charger. This isn't a battery, it's an energy strategy. Oppo's partnership with Hasselblad finally feels like it's matured. The Find X9 packs a triple camera system, a triple camera work, a 50 megapixel main, 50 megapixel ultra wide, and on the Pro, a 200 megapixel periscope zoom. But what's impressive isn't just the specs, it's how they work together. The main camera produces natural balanced shots with excellent dynamic range. Colors feel true to life. No cartoonish blues or overly bright skin tones. It's all about realism. Low light performance? Stunning. The sensor picks up light so well that night shots come out clean, detailed, and sharp without looking artificial. Portraits have this smooth depth separation that feels DSLR-like with just the right amount of bokeh and skin texture. And video, stable, colorful, cinematic. You get consistent tones across all 3 lenses, which is something even bigger brands still struggle with. It's not trying to fake perfection, it's capturing honesty. ColorOS 16 is finally refined. It's clean, responsive, and surprisingly minimal for Oppo. Animations glide, transitions breathe, and the interface feels cohesive from top to bottom. The haptics, honestly among the best in any Android phone right now. You feel each tap like a physical click, precise and satisfying. And Oppo finally stepped up its longevity game, 7 years of OS updates. That's Apple territory. Combine that with IP68 water resistance, stereo speakers, fast wireless charging, and an in-display fingerprint sensor, and you've got a flagship that checks every box. This is Oppo's glow-up moment, software and hardware finally speaking the same language. The Oppo Find X9 isn't a phone that shouts for attention, it earns it quietly through refinement. It doesn't chase megapixels or gimmicks or benchmark glory. Instead, it focuses on balance, a screen that looks incredible, performance that stays cool, cameras that tell stories, and a battery that refuses to die. It's not a revolution, it's evolution done right. And that's what makes it so compelling. This is the kind of phone you don't replace every year. You grow with it. Because sometimes true innovation isn't about the flashiest hardware. It's about building something that lasts. If you're tired of flagships that look great but age fast, the Find X9 might just be your forever phone. It's not designed to compete, it's designed to endure. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and stay tuned because the Find X9 Pro versus Pixel 10 showdown is coming soon. And trust me, that one's going to get intense.